Hey, Annie Gisher here, racial equity coach for online business owners who are ready to build businesses that are racially equitable so they can be intentionally inclusive. Today's lesson is all around understanding the meaning of the words and the terms that we use in racial equity work so that you are empowered on your journey. Many times I've come across people who just have uh, not a very deep understanding of what the word or the term means, and they have gotten their understanding from listening to other different people and piecing up the what the word might mean. Some of the times, the people they are learning from are not credible sources, people who actually don't truly understand the true meaning of the word and the term. And so they take that as gospel and they run with it. And what I have found to be the danger in doing this is when you understand something that has been shared to you that is not a truth, that then becomes something that is misaligned with your values. So for example, if there's a certain terminology that is being used in, anti-racism work, in racial equity work that doesn't align with you and who you are as a human being, this work becomes something that you do not want to partake in, you do not want to be part of, because it is work that goes against who you are as a human being. I've seen that many, many times when it comes to terms like critical race theory and how it's been pulled apart and given a different meaning. Movements like Black Lives Matter and the questions that then come from, well, why don't all lives matter? Why is it just Black Lives Matter? And the best way to understand these terms is to go back to understanding the historical context. When these terms were coined, when these words were put together, where was it coming from? And today I want to share with you the example of the word woke, because woke is something that we are increasingly hearing about. And when knowing what I know about the term woke and its history and seeing how it is playing out, particularly in mainstream media, and the fear that has been used with this term, this word, to make people feel like, well, I'm anti-woke. I do not want to be associated with anything to do with wokeness. But if we just take a step back and just begin to do our homework so that we can understand the true original meaning of some of these terms that are used in, racial equity work, it will position us in a place where we are empowered. We understand the true meaning. And so when we hear different voices and different perspectives, we are not getting influenced into believing something that is not a truth. So going back to the word woke, woke originated back in the 1920s and is from African American Vernacular English, AAVE. Now, I will not get into African American Vernacular English and what it means and where it came from, but one thing you might know as you're listening to this is that African Americans, some of the words that they use are a little bit different grammatically from English itself. So, for example, woke is from wake, the word wake, and that's where woke came from. And it was used in the context of telling the Black community to be aware, to be vigilant, because what had happened in the context of how this word was used was it came from a blues singer who had put together a song, and this song had been very much influenced by what he had seen play out at the time, where some young boys, Black boys, had been arrested for something that they had not done. They had been arrested for a crime that they had not committed. And so in preparing this song and singing this song, when he finished singing it, he was telling the crowd, stay woke, be aware of what's going on, be vigilant, stay safe, so to speak. And so that's the original meaning. That's where it originated from. And then over the years, it has kind of taken a life form of its own, and having more so its resurgence back in 2014 when it started being used on Twitter. And it just took a new form of its own. Woke this, woke that, everything just became woke. And now, in the current times that we are living in, we are seeing the word woke is being used in a very negative connotation. It is something that triggers negativity. It's become a threat. It's become a word that is exclusionary, a word that brings on divisiveness and separation and segregation. And so when you understand the true meaning and somebody comes and tells you this is what it is, you know that that is not a truth. And what that does on your journey of racial equity and being a more inclusive business owner is that it allows you to know what is true and what isn't, and the things that you would, that is necessary for you to keep digging into and keep learning so that you are self-aware and you're continuing to dive into this work knowing that what is true and what isn't. And this whole conversation that we're having here is what led me to create the Racial Awareness Glossary, where I share 20 words and I describe I share with you the history, the historical context, who coined the term, and how that word has gone on to be misused and the correct use of that term. It's very short, bite-sized, and this is information that will truly empower you on your journey, because when you know what a certain term or word means, you are better educated and you're better placed to have these conversations when it comes to do with race, privilege, and holding space in a better way, particularly if you're looking to work with people from diverse backgrounds. You have that knowledge, you have that understanding. And so below this video, you can access that free racial awareness glossary with 20 must-know words. And it's so easy to consume. And it is words that you need to know because they're going to absolutely help you on your journey. So go ahead and download that, friend.